Hi, I'm Carolyn Monahan, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the West Coast Chamber. Today's member question is about sustaining a healthy work culture while working remotely. I am joined today by Robert Heath Sr., CEO of Legacy Leadership Consulting. Robert is here with advice on managing your time and the time of the people on your team, working with the realities of the interruptions of home life, and setting healthy boundaries for yourself while working from home. So, welcome, Robert, and thank you for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here with you today.
So, I wanted to ask you, how do you own your own time in lieu of managing other people's priorities?
Right. That's a great starting place because a lot of people we're taught from the time we're children to manage other people's priorities, to figure out how to make other people happy. We go through with our parents, and as children, we realize that there's certain things that get us rewards and certain things that get us punishments. And then we go through school, same kind of idea. The teacher tells you how to get an A, where you need to be, how to line up, when you can go to recess, when you can come back from recess, all of these different types of things. And we learn really quickly, right? And we as human beings are social animals. So we learn really quickly that to be part of the tribe, to be part of the group, you have to understand how to get other people what they want. But one of the problems with that is we don't get taught how to determine what we want outside of that lens of what makes other people happy. And so we get very good at managing other people's priorities. And what's interesting about that is when we get into senior leadership levels, especially when you become a small business owner, even when you get to executive levels in leadership, you are really the person who is called on to have the vision, to figure out what good looks like, to figure out where the company is. And very often when we get to that level, those muscles in us are the ones that are most atrophied. Those are the muscles that we haven't been working out throughout this entire professional kind of journey. And that's what many people struggle with. It's defining success, figuring out what does success actually mean to them. Not what does success mean to my parents, not what does it mean to my boss, not what does it mean to community, what does it mean to society, but what actually makes me happy. And so the first step, and we talk about 5 steps to mastering your time, the first one is defining success. That's one of the things that people have to figure out. And that's a lot more difficult than a lot of people think that it is. There's plenty of YouTube videos and talks, and there's the law of attraction, and there's different mindset coaching methodologies and all the rest of that will talk to you and ask the question, but actually figuring out the answer is more difficult than most people give it credit for.
Mm. So, in formulating
Hmm.
those that idea of what does success look like for you, you're
Hmm.
juggling a lot of things. So, how can I thrive in the chaos and interruptions of my daily life?
Right. So that's where the other 4 steps of mastering your time come in, because the key is becoming a master of your time. A lot of times we look at the people in society who are, tremendously successful, the Elon Musks of the world, the Bill Gateses of the world, the people who just seem like they're always doing something, right? Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kevin Hart, they're always everywhere, and it never seems like they stop. And the reality is, no, they sleep just like regular people. They hang out with their families just like regular people, but they're very good at mastering their time. They make sure that everything that they do in their day is aligned with their purpose of being on this planet. And learning how to master these 5 steps that we talk about, defining success, aligning your priorities and setting your goals in alignment with your priorities, scheduling your priorities, and then in learning how to enforce your boundaries. And 5, sustaining that transformation, making it a habit instead of just an action. So many people are trying to do the right thing once or twice and not understanding that you have to make it a habit. And you can figure out how to do those things. There, you can live a life where it feels like you get more done with less time, less energy, less stress, less mess.
Well, and who doesn't want to lead a life like that? It's got that great balance and purpose to it.
Yes,
So I
yes.
think that's amazing. How are you going to set and enforce the boundaries?
That's a great question. And it's funny because that is the part that most people get hung up on. And one of the reasons that we struggle with it is because we have an idea that telling people no means that I'm the bad guy. In order to say yes to anything, to truly say yes to it, you have to say no to everything that is not that thing. You don't have to tell people no necessarily in order to actually get them to not pull you off task. Oftentimes what I find works best is when you tell people what you're saying yes to. When I actually tell people what I have to do and why I'm doing what I'm doing, it's amazing. Most people are like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. And so the first step to enforcing your boundaries is making sure that you notify yourself of what you're working towards, but then you also have to let other people know what you're working towards. Most of the people who struggle with time management are actually very good at productivity. What they're not good at is saying no. What they're not good at is managing and mastering their own skill such that they get done the things that they want to get done.
Robert, if people want to learn more about you, where do they find you?
Oh, awesome. Well, they can find us at our website. It's legacyleadershipmastery.com.
Sounds like a great idea. Helping people to manage their remote work life and even in their work life in the office. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Robert, for being with me today. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Remember to live every day like it was on purpose and in alignment with your purpose.